Hello, Trekkies and Trekkers. Welcome to this amazing Star Trek podcast on Trek Tuesday. I'm your host, Dorinda, and together with my fellow Trekker from Canada, Amanda Hopper, I recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek TNG. Today we recap the episode The Enemy. But first, a note of the host of this podcast. Today, I'd like to congratulate me and Amanda of making this podcast for over 2 years. On the 1st of September, we had our second anniversary. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. And now for the plot of the episode. The Enterprise responds to a Romulan distress call coming from Galordan Volcor, a planet near the neutral zone with severe radiologic storms that interfere with transporters and communications. Riker, Worf, and LaForge transport down through a window in the storms and discovers a wreckage of a Romulan craft on the hostile planet surface. Worf finds a Romulan survivor near death and subdues him. While Riker and Worf take the Romulan back to the beacon for transport to the ship, LaForge ends up falling into a hidden hole. Riker and Worf try to find him, but are forced to leave before the transport window in the storm closed. By the time Geordi has climbed out, it is impossible to communicate with the Enterprise. Aboard the ship, Dr. Crusher lands to the Romulan, finds that he is also suffering severe neurological damage due to the planet's storms, and that she needs to locate a matching donor of a rare variety of ribosome to keep him alive. When Captain Picard asks for suggestions on how to locate Geordi, Wesley Crusher offers the idea of launching a probe onto the planet's surface that would send a neutrino signal that could be detected by LaForge's visor and lead him to the probe and allow him to use it to signal he is alright and able to return to the ship during the next storm window. As they launch and monitor the probe, the Enterprise detects a communication from Romulan Commander Tomalak. When they hail him to inform him that the Romulans violated the treaty by entering Federation space, he brushes it off as a misunderstanding and explains that the craft went off course due to a malfunction. Picard informs him that they found a survivor, and after getting assurance that the crashed craft only had the one occupant, agrees to meet Tomalak at the neutral zone to deliver the survivor. Several crew members suggested a more aggressive response, but Picard warns his crew that they must handle the situation delicately to avoid setting off another war between the Federation and the Romulan Empire. On the surface, LaForge discovers the probe signal, but while following its guidance, it is captured by Booker, another Romulan survivor of the crash. Though Booker holds LaForge hostage, he reveals that he is losing feelings in his legs from the crash, while Geordi knows he is starting to have problems seeing through his visor, leading him to conclude that the storms are causing neurological damage, upping the end that they must get off the planet to survive. LaForge managed to convince him to take his chance with the Federation, but as they head out to the probe, Geordi succumbs to the neurological damage and is unable to see through his visor. Volkra suggests connecting the survivor to the tricorder using to combine technology to be able to direct them to the probe and the two work together to overcome their physical disabilities to make it there. On the ship, Worf is found as the only suitable donor for the dying Romulan, but he refused due to his grudge with the Romulan race for killing his parents. Picard urges Worf to put his duty to Starfleet over his honor as a Klingon, but it is all for now when the Romulan refusing treatment succumbs to his wounds and dies. Tomalak, irate that the Enterprise wasn't at the designed waiting point as they agreed up in time, violates the treaty and appears in front of the Enterprise at the planet. Picard is forced to report that the Romulan crewman died, which infuriates Tomalak, and he prepared his weapons to fire at the Enterprise. As the Enterprise raised its shield, they discover LaForge has reached the probe with another life form. Picard warns Tomalak they are lowering their shields to beam up the survivors directly to the bridge. When they arrive, Bogler reports to Tomalak that LaForge had helped save his life. Tomalak accepts this and stands down his weapons. Bogler cordially thanks LaForge for his help and is returned to the Romulans, and the Enterprise escorts Tomalak's ship back to the neutral zone without further incidents. Alright guys, let's call Amanda. Hello Amanda.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Tomorrow is my dad's birthday. He's hitting the big old 7-0.
Okay.
The big old 7-0. Trying to decide what I'm going to get him, too.
Okay.
I was thinking of another bird feeder, but that squirrel already took one out. Actually, 2 squirrels took it out. Gosh, they're destructive little monsters, those guys, but they're so cute.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're cute, but sometimes they're destructive, mean, furry little balls of demons.
Oh wow.
And I'm going to get some more donations taken into the secondhand stores like I did last week out of my room. Last week was 6 bags of donations, and I think I got another 6 bags of donations again this week. I cannot believe the amount of stuff I have in my room. Well, we overhauled the whole bedroom. The closet was pretty bad. The dressers were bad. I was like, I had that in my dresser? It's like, wow. Who knew?
Yeah,
and the DVDs, well.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what you really have.
Yeah, like with clothes, you don't realize you have more shirts than you do pants. And holy crap, I got a lot of shirts. Most of them don't even fit me anyway because they're too small.
Well, let's get started with the recap of this episode. And the episode is Enemy, and that was the first thing we said last time, is that we thought we knew already which episode it was, and it was the episode we thought it was. It was the episode that Geordi LaForge was missing on this planet with those storms, and he encountered another survivor, Romulan survivor.
A Romulan.
Yeah. So.
First time we meet those guys, I think. Yeah, first time we meet.
Yeah, can be, yeah.
Yeah, I say it's the first time we met the Romulans.
So we started at the away team. What was Riker, Geordi, and Worf. they were on the planet and it was already storming, and in the end, Riker said it wasn't a good idea that we didn't take Data with us, because otherwise he was in problem for a week.
Yeah, because his components would be all fritz and fried and screwed up from being down there.
Yeah, that's right.
And nobody wants dirt in their component. There'd be a pain in the butt getting dirt out of there. All right.
But okay. Yeah. All the instruments are very scrambled, and they found the debris of this Romulan shuttle, and they found one survivor. And as soon as he saw Worf, he put his hands on his neck and wanted to choke him. So the Romulans were very, very hostile. And it is a bit weird. And we see that in the whole episode, that Worf was struggling with that he had to help a Romulan, but what happened to his parents? The Romulans have killed his parents, and that's why he didn't want to help the Romulan. And I must say, that Romulan on that sickbay bed was very, very hostile against Worf. And I was thinking, dude, what does it matter? If he saves your life, what does it matter? You know?
Yeah.
And, well, apparently he wanted to die, because in the end he died. But of course, we will see that there will be a second Romulan. So, they were on the planet, and I was thinking, for a future series as TNG, where it timeline is, they have weird torches. You know, like a some kind of a tricorder, but then with light in it.
Yeah, some of the lights in the tricorders and equipment seem to be a little different throughout the series. Like the lights will be different, or they'll open a certain way, or they'll fire a different way. Like.
Well, what I mean, it's not about the tricorder, but I mean it's like they have this torch to see where they were going. And
the flashlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flashlight. Sometimes it's like held in the palm, and you hold it like in front of you, or it's like a regular looking little.
Yeah, it was just weird. I was thinking, for a future series as TNG, Star Trek TNG, what is...
Yeah.
They were in the 24th, 25th century. They have weird flashlights.
Yeah, I think they'd have more fancy ones.
Yeah. More
like a headband type of flashlight.
Or some kind of with a laser or something.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
Of course it didn't.
So they spreading out to see if they can find someone or somewhat. And Worf finds this wounded Romulan, and yeah. Like I already said, Worf, that Romulan wanted to kill Worf. And Worf was something like, dude, you don't even have the strength to kill me, so what the hell? And it is, in one way, good to see that Worf was struggling with his principles. Because his Starfleet education said, you need to help him. But what happened to him and his family. So like the Romans killed his parents, and what they did with he was saying, I can't help him, I don't want to help him, and that Romulan didn't want to be helped by Worf.
Yeah, because Worf doesn't like him, and apparently he didn't like Worf because he was Klingon. And I guess you can call him a stubborn-headed one too. I guess.
I don't know. I can't remember. But then
Romulan
we see. Yeah, but Worf was stubborn too, because you remember that conversation he has with Riker in Riker's office, and Riker got to the point of, Worf, are you going to blame every Romulan for it or forever? Because if you do, there will never be peace between our species. And look what we are now. You know, you can.
Yeah.
And that was always thinking, yeah, Riker, you are right.
That's true.
So then we see Geordi had fallen in a well, and I have no idea how determined he really was to get out of there, because he made those climbing things, and I was thinking, wow, you did really, really well with that. I have never had thought of it. And but there was this window that they had to beam up to the Enterprise, because otherwise the storm was too much.
Yeah, Geordi's smart that way when it comes to coming up with ideas like that to get out of a situation. Like and getting up with what he had. Yeah, he had some muscle to him to get up. Me, I would have a hard time getting up.
Yeah, but it was for him as a hard time as well. And you know, I think, like Miles O'Brien, Geordi LaForge has been underrated as a character. Because he really always think about solutions. And that's what I was thinking about this time as well. Riker was very, very concerned about Geordi, and he was ramping on the bridge, and even Captain Picard was silenced, and he was ramping like, guys, we need a solution, give me some solution, this and that. And who of course came with a solution? Wesley Wonderboy Crusher.
Yep. Wesley always usually does have a solution.
I think it is nice to have Wesley, like, I don't want to say a wonder child, but more like he's like a fresh air, a fresh wind to because I think he's not only smart, but he's also resourceful.
Yeah.
And some
resourceful.
Some of the
he's almost.
Yes.
He's almost like a Sheldon Cooper in space, almost.
Yeah. You know, it's I don't know. I think Wesley had a very small role this time, but it was essential. And
yeah, it's just small this time around.
I do think that he becoming more and more part of the senior crew, although he's just an acting ensign. But you notice, and that was in a way a bit weird thing, I think, because at the end of the episode, when Geordi, when they could have beamed up Geordi and the Romulan, and Picard took this risk with the Romulans of, okay guys, I'm going to lower my shields to beam them up and please trust me. And of course you have this chance to destroy the Enterprise, but also your own crew members. And so he said, I will be the first one who lower the shields and do something trustworthy. But what I want to come at the point is that when they could beam up Geordi and the Romulan, this was the only line that Diana Troy had. And she said, it's Geordi. And like Wesley's role in this episode, it was very small, but it was essential. Well, of course, Geordi could climb out of the well, and the Enterprise had sent that probe, what Wesley's solution was. And Geordi found it. And right away he knew it was Wesley. It was Wesley's idea. But when he wanted to change the rhythm to tell the Enterprise that he was there, the other Romulan attacked him.
And jumping from behind.
I didn't like that Romulan at all. Like every Romulan, he was very hostile and angry and whatever else more. And first thing he said to Geordi, oh, you're my prisoner. And I was thinking, dude, what the hell are you thinking? They wanted to get out of there. And Geordi tried to talk to him about, dude, I have a beacon here. We can get to safety. And at that moment, there was a pile of rocks that was come down near on the Romulan. And
did it break his leg or his arm? I forget.
His leg. It was his
leg. It was his leg. Oof.
But the whole atmosphere there was very toxic for both of them. Because later we see that Geordi became blind. He couldn't use his visor. And the Romulan, he couldn't feel his leg. So...
yeah, because the storm messed with Geordi's visor when he was down there. And it just, like dust particles, and it was like electromagnetic problems like with his visor. And of course, when rock lands on your leg, it's going to be messed up. So they had to help each other out to get out of the problem that they were in. So one had to leave the other. Geordi had to lean on the Romulan, and the Romulan had a bum leg, so they had to be careful when they were doing that to lead each other out.
You know, that reminded me a bit of that episode of DS9 when Odo had to escort Quark to a court thingy, and they went down on a planet, but they have not enough survival clothes and survival stuff, so they needed to board for each other, etc., etc. And at that moment, Odo was solid. And so it was in the end that Odo was dependent on Quark so that Quark will put the emitter higher so they could send the testicle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I saw that clip online there, and those two were fighting each other too.
Yeah, that's true. So that reminded a bit of it, and you know, after that I start liking Quark, because Quark and Odo they used to be bickering each other, and then after that episode, they became some kind of a friends, and they had an understanding, and instead of teasing each other, they began teasing O'Brien and what's his name? Bashir.
Oh yeah, Dr. Bashir.
So that was super funny that they going to cooperate and make fun with each other instead at each other. So, then we see, of course, that the Romulan has still the weapon, and he still was pointing on Geordi, and Geordi had something like, dude, seriously? You're injured, and we are in the same boat together, so back off with it, you know?
Yeah, like, I'm trying to help you, you're trying to help me, and we're stuck down here, and you still get your weapon aimed at me. What the heck?
Yeah. So then it was weird, but I do find it nice that in the end, that when Geordi went blind and the whole radiation on the planet was messing with them, even their bodies, at the end, when they worked together and they found the beacon, that they had a nice understanding of, okay, we're not enemies. We can help each other.
Yeah.
So, at that point, Dr. Crusher called Worf to the sickbay. And she talked about him about him having this in his body that will be the cure for the Romulan. And Worf wasn't happy with that. And a little bit later, we also see that I think Dr. Crusher have talked to Picard, and Picard called Worf into his office with the notice, what are you going to do? Because it's the matter of life and death. And then Worf was saying, well, my Starfleet education says that I need to help him, but my feelings and all what I know about Romulans and what they did to my parents, I cannot do this. And there was that flicker moment in Picard's expression that I was thought, ew, now Worf's gonna get it. But in the end, Picard said, okay, we know where you are at. And he ordered Dr. Crusher not to burgering Worf anymore with it. But, you know, Dr. Crusher is Dr. Crusher. And she will not stop trying. So, what she did is she called Worf for a second time and said, well, the Romulan is almost at the end of his life. It's still not too late to beat the cure or heal him. And then Worf and the Romulan talked a little bit in a hostile way, as we have seen, of course. What we already said before, Worf didn't want to help him, and the Romulan didn't want his thing of a Klingon in him, so that was talked out. And Dr. Crusher, I believe, tried to convince Worf one more time. Then Picard meddled in it and said, Crusher, leave it. This is, I will not order Worf to do, because this is a big deal and I totally can understand it. And then we see that Dr. Crusher answered, well, we don't need Worf anymore because the Romulan is dead. And then Picard said, okay, Worf, leave it. This is, I will not order Worf to do, because this is a big deal and I totally can understand it. And then we see that Dr. Crusher answered, well, we don't need Worf anymore because the Romulan is dead. And then Picard said, well, we don't need Worf anymore because the Romulan is dead. yeah, it was a bit of also like, I think the lesson in this episode was in the way of, although it is an enemy, you also be human to help anyone.
Mm.
And we see those two fight between doing something good and doing something bad, of keeping it at your own principles. We then see that the Romulans are in the neutral zone, and I think this is a very well-known sub-commander of the Romulans. His name is Tomalak, and I think he will be more in the TNG episodes, but I can't remember in which one.
No, I can't remember which ones either. But he does show up from time to time.
Yeah. And I can't remember, but wasn't he the father of Sheila?
Oh.
I can't remember, but there was vaguely that I thinking, yeah, I think it is the father of Sheila.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember it though, but there is some thinking that I think, okay. So the Romans are in the neutral zone now. When Picard and Tomalak talked, and of course Tomalak was really, how do you say it? He wore a mask. He had a two-face, you know? And there was almost a diplomatic conflict about this whole thing. Then we see that that was the moment that the storm and the atmosphere on the planet makes Geordi blind, and he couldn't use his visor anymore. So that was a problem, and now you could see that the Romulan, and I can't remember his name. There was something like Bakar or something. And so they have to work together. And finally, they found the beacon that the Enterprise had sent to the planet. So Geordi said, okay, now I can work with it. And so Geordi figured how he need to change the message and let the Enterprise know that he's still alive and that he is down at the beacon. There was only one big problem. One big problem. The Romulans were now at the site, and there was no chance to beam the Romulan and Geordi up, because the Romulans were hostile against the Enterprise. They had to put the shields up.
Yeah, because if and when they put the shields down, the Romulans would get like super trigger happy and fire upon them when they put the shield down.
Exactly. So
but they're super trigger happy.
At the moment that Picard healed them, Wesley said, "Captain, the beacon is responding." So, and then Choice said right away, "It's Geordi." So, but the Romulans were a bit stubborn themselves, because they wanted to answer Picard's hail. Well, eventually they did, and they were demanding answers of Picard, because Picard was, I believe, they were, I can't remember what it exactly was, but I thought that Picard was on the edge of Federation territory. So Tamalak wanted to have answers. And Picard began his speech of giving them answers in a way, but also you could see that Picard was getting to points to get straight answers. And in the end he got that, of course. And then he would say, okay guys, we found your crew member and we found our crew member. They are together. And we can beam them up safe and sound. And of course we will return your crew member and your other crew member who passed away sadly. And but I need to have to drop my shields. And of course you have your chance then to shoot us, but you will not only destroy the Enterprise, but also your crew member.
Yeah.
And so I will show you the first thing of trust, and I will lower my shields. So
Yeah.
they saw that the Enterprise did that, and Picard asked them, okay guys, I have lowered my shields, please put your weapons offline so it's not hostile anymore. We need to work together.
At least they listened to him.
Yeah, that was and I think I think from that moment on, Picard became more and more diplomatic. So in one way, Picard took a big risk.
Yeah, he did.
So they beamed them up, the Romulan and Geordi, yeah. And did you notice how dirty Geordi's uniform was?
Oh yeah, they both were dirty.
Yeah, his Geordi's uniform was very, very dirty. That was the first thing. I thought he was more dirty than he was on the planet, to be honest. But okay.
But don't worry, they got good laundry machines up there on the Enterprise.
Tamalak was almost like treating, if you are not treating my crew member right, then this and that, and there will be war, blah blah blah. But the Romulan tells Tamalak that he has been treated well, and even his new friend Geordi saved his life. And you had to see the Tamalak's face of how the hell can this happen, you know?
Yeah.
The enemy.
He's like, our enemies looked after you this well? I was like, he thought they'd be like torturing him and stuff.
So he told Picard asked Geordi and Riker Worf to escort the Romulan to the transport room so they can beam him over to the Romulan ship. And then we see that the Enterprise and the Romulan ship depart going each own way. And that is also the ending of this episode, guys. Amanda, is there something you'd like to add?
I thought it was a pretty good episode. And the first Geordi and I can't pronounce that Romulan's name, were enemies at first, and as soon as Geordi became blind, he and the other guy had a leg problem, they were able to work together to find the beacon, and towards the end they actually were more friendly with each other.
Yeah, yeah. And that, of course, is how its friendship starts, and that you have more empathy and sympathy for another being.
Yeah.
I must say, I liked this episode as well. And if we are taking a look at the IMDb rating, that is a 7.8. I personally will give it a 7.5. What would you rate it?
Yeah, I would say 7.5.
Okay.
That's it. It's a good episode though, but still.
Yeah, it's a good episode, yeah. That's everything for this week. So, the next episode called the Prize.
Oh, the prize, okay.
I can't remember where it was all about, but we will see that next time, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys are liking the little changes that I'm making each time. And of course, like I said before, comment in the comment section on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, you can do that on Anchors as well. But yeah, give us some feedback, guys, or start talking with us about the episode.
Yeah, guys, come on, we don't bite.
Okay, guys, we will see you in 2 weeks. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you guys for listening, and join us in 2 weeks for a new episode recap. In the next episode, we will recap the episode The Prize. I also like you take a look and listen to my 2 other podcasts, namely Maya Alleen Talks podcast, wherein I talk a lot of Star Trek, and the Netherlands Ready Room podcast, which is a video podcast in my native language, Dutch. You can find both on YouTube and Facebook. We will see you in 2 weeks.